Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant night to you all. Thank you very much for sticking with us. Thank you very much for joining us. This another episode, or should I say, part 2 of episode 25. Tonight is Wednesday, and as usually, we should have been carrying educational content tonight. But whatever we do on the Saudichress Show, it is a matter of education. And so, people, it's very important that whatever it is planned, we need to carry through. And so I continue to try my very best to give you some content, whether it was the planned content or unplanned content, because you know how things go sometimes. I must say, I had some challenges earlier today and was unable to make up my educational podcast tonight. However, maybe something has turned the other way, and maybe this is giving rise to new development, or not so much of new development, but more so evidence of what Chapleton Maroon have been actually talking about, or what we carried through tonight, and so on. So tonight we will have in our show, we already have a call online. So we have Bob. Bob, you're live on the Saudichress Show. What say you tonight?
Good night.
Good night, sir.
Blessing.
More blessings,
Big
man.
up yourself, Yeah, man, big up yourself, man.
Respect, sir. Cutty, man. The blues man with the well-oiled machine. Well, here he goes. All right, so people, as I was saying, we brought the issue on Monday night, where we spoke for long, lengthy show. We had 3 hours. We deliberate on the situation with Chapleton Maroons in the Premier League. Now, the media has gotten a hold of the information as it relates to a letter that was sent to the JFF. I think it was the competitions chairman it was addressed to, but I had bits of pieces of it. And so this would have given us now something to talk about, not just from what we feel, but how Chapleton Maroon has expressed themselves. Now, based on my view and what was said in that letter, as I mentioned before, it needed more of a two-side communication in an effort to have some amicable, some halfway decision, because trust me, as we said, every story have 3 sides. However, we're not looking at the side that we have where we just give our view, right, people? But it is very important that we do understand. The last show, we had Kevin Morris, who explained thoroughly to us the rules and regulation of the PAJ, and so more so the JFF and the different sanctions that would have been laid out to any team who find themselves wanting in such situation. However, when you look at the rules, people, it was clear to me there are some aspect of it I believe could have, altered, or probably to suit everyone. Because let me tell you something, people. We also understand that in Jamaica's laws, where things are written as an article, they've never been clear. But we must also understand, as a people, we need to meet our people. So this is a situation that it means that every club in Jamaica who want to participate in this level of competition need to have legal minds in their club structure. Without that, there will be a lot of issues. Because not all of us will understand the nature of how these rules or articles are written. So thank you very much. And so we want to go along. I want you people to remember to hit the like button. Come on, man. Thumbs up the Saudichress Show. If the content is good for you, if you like the content, am I to understand that the content that I have been bringing to you, that I've brought to you over the past couple of weeks, and more so tonight, if you like it, just hit the like button. And please, I will ask you as well, if it is not something that you really like, just for the development and the growth of the Saudichress Show, and you are here, hit the like button, people. As RR would say, sanitize your hand, hit the like button. Bless up yourself, Mr. Lee. Good night, Sadi and friends. RR, the man always. I hope you stay with us tonight, you know, RR. I hope so. All right. So let me get our content and our story right. People, I want to share with you the Chapleton Maroons side. And you can form your own, not opinion therefore, but look at what you see, what you get from this particular letter. I think that many of you, it was published, I believe, in the Observer, the Gleaner. And so we have a right to the information. And by so doing, let's look at it, people. Because Chapleton Maroons, as I said before, would have actually needed support in this. All right? So this is the headline coming from the Gleaner, which says that the Maroons cry foul. The Maroons cry foul. Why the referee never blew his whistle for that infringement last week? That's a question I will put to you. Was it a clear foul? Did, in this case, the VAR intervene? Or they never see it fit? It wasn't a clear error on the referee's part. It was a foul. But have we seen this decision goes the other way at any point in time? Now, this was published on Tuesday. That's yesterday, people. I got a hold of it today. And as you look at the headline, it's saying Chapleton Maroons cry foul. The Clarendon-based club threatened to pull out of the JPL following JFF sanctions. Is that right? I wonder if my very good friend, Mr. Stewart, the assistant coach, as mentioned in this article, will be able to talk to us tonight. Nigel, aka Lenky, if you are listening, give me a call. You would have been the person on the ground as it relates to Chapleton Maroons making all the contact and talks. Am I right? Well, if I'm not, I stand for correction. But as it relates to this letter, and I will read, if your screen is very small or the text is very small, let me actually read for you. So what was published was said, following their $200,000 fine and 6 points deducted for failing to show up for their Jamaica Premier League, JPL in bracket, game against Mount Pleasant Academy on Sunday, Chapleton's Maroons are crying foul following the latest development. And the developments basically of what we showed the last time around with the sanctions outlined by the JFF. Now, assistant coach Nigel Stewart said he was surprised to hear that the team had been sanctioned, as the Clarendon-based club said they sent an email at 11:59 a.m. You see how it was precise? 11:59 a.m. on Friday to Ian Campbell, head of competitions at the Jamaica Football Federation, stating that of the 13 players they had at their disposal, 6 were ill and could not field the team, and was asking for the game to be rescheduled. That was Friday, people. Well, personally, that would have been 2 days prior to the start, or prior to the scheduled game, which was Sunday. So that's Friday midday. All right, let me not put any word to it. 11:59 on Friday. 11:59 on Friday. What I would like to know though, when did Mr. Ian Campbell receive this email? But let me go further. Let me go a little further. Not too sure of when that would have been released. But what it is being said now, Chapleton also stated that their situation was further compounded by 2 players being transferred to another club. Get that? And 5 players being sent home by the previous coach before he was relieved of his duties. My God. Let's take that again. I want to get this clear. Chapleton stated that their situation was further compounded by 2 players being transferred to another 5 players, and another 5 players being sent home by the previous coach. So that's 7 players. Help me here, people. This would have been 7 players from the 30. Or you are talking about 7 players from the 13 you suggested you have. No, I don't think so. All right, I correct myself there because based on what you said in the letter there. Now, they also outlined that 9 players had refused to play and or have stopped playing since the coach's dismissal. And 1 player was away with the all schoolboys team. People, hit the like button, man. As me read, hit the like button, people. Don't just sit back and relax. I know you're probably using your phone to do other things, but give me some likes. No, all of these are serious problems, you know. For any one team, having these issues a week prior to a game, these are serious issues. Oh my God. Now, let me see how best we can get into this scheme of things. Mr. Lee, see if you can reach out to them people, you know, why them not hit the like button, no, man. You know, reach it. I remember you at the register, you know. I hear you give 1 man detention the last time for being late. So be careful. Listen again, let me go further. The JFF then responded to the email at 12:37 on Saturday. So that's 1 full day it took JFF to respond. From 11:59 a.m. on Friday, the email was sent and the JFF responded a matter of fact, 25 hours later, stating that the club had 30 players registered. Thank you very much, because we had an issue with that the last time. My discussion, we were wondering if the club had registered 30 players based on those concerns. All right. So Mr. Campbell stating that the club has registered 30 players. He goes further to say failure to honor their fixture would result in the game being awarded to the opposing team and the relevant sanctions being applied to Chapleton Maroons FC. Interesting. So from there and then on Saturday, midday, the JFF has made their position clear. JFF General Secretary Dennis Chung also weighed in on the matter and wrote an email to Chapleton Maroons captain Ronaldo Christian stating that based on the rules of the game, the match could not be rescheduled as the federation understands that the registered players refusing to play, you hear that, are not a federation are not a federation. Let me get this one clear. This is not so straightforward to me at all. Let me start out. JFF General Secretary Dennis Chung also weighed in on the matter of and wrote an email to Chapleton Maroons captain Ronaldo Christian stating that based on the rules of the game, the match could not be rescheduled as the federation understands that the registered players refusing to play was not a federation. Understand that the registered player refusing to play was not a significant reason to reschedule the game. Alright, so a little repetition, dear people. Alright, so me understand that, Mr. Chung, it's an internal issue. Alright, Christian, who has been overseeing some of the administrating duties since the departure of the manager, said he will be having a meeting with the club's hierarchy to encourage them to pull the team from the competition based on the latest happening. I want to ask this question. Is Christian the team captain as mentioned by Chung? But if he's the on-field captain, and he's also now overseeing the administrative duties since the departure of the manager. Again, people, who is the manager of, or who was the Chapleton Maroons manager? Again, these are questions that I need to answer. Mr. Stewart, can you send me an email? Can you send me a text? Can you call to help me with this information? So he said that he'll be having a meeting with the club's hierarchy. He really want to encourage them to pull the team out of the competition based on the latest happenings. And you know what the latest happenings were? The sanctions that were laid down to Chapleton Maroons. It doesn't make sense because they are treating us unfairly. You are deducting 6 points for one game. 3 points are the maximum for one game, and you are taking away all of 2 games. It doesn't make any sense, Christian said. But Christian, I will say to you, as it relates to the rules of the game, Mr. Christian, the 6 points, those rules were there, and it is clear. Mark you. Myself, I am not in agreement with taking away those 6 points. I think 6 points for a situation like that, this would have been the very first Chapleton Maroons end up in such a situation. Maybe some warnings have given to Chapleton Maroon before that. Now, following the 6 point deduction, the Maroons have now dropped into the relegation zone of the 14-team league. So they are now on 2 points. So there were, on Sunday, the Maroons were on 8 points. And the failure to comply to a game, they have lost 6 points. Wow. 6 points, people. 6 points they have lost. You know what happened? This situation should have, or I believe, every single club in the country. A matter of fact, every single thinking Jamaican who supports football needs to get themselves a copy of the PAJ and the JFF rules, competition rules. We all need to understand what it is saying. We all need to know how the impact of those sanctions will affect the overall competition. What has happened now? If Chapleton Maroon should hold on to their threats of withdrawing from the competition, how will this affect the running of the competition? RR, check. 1, 2, 3, Mr. Lee, Saudi and Piba squad. Blessing. Bless up RR. Thank you very much for joining. I was looking out for you, man. Big man. The man who marked the register in the class. So RR, I know you're on top of things and you probably have gotten this information already. But there's still a lot for us people to look into. There's still a lot for us to look into. Punishment is different from sanctions. So you have been punished by handed down these sanctions. And that is for any club. For any club. Now, when you apply punishment to anyone, there's always been a reaction. Yes? Sometimes the reaction is not favorably to you as the person who knows the function or the group. As everyone here remember their days going to school and you were punished for something that you believe. Something that you believe you were not wrong. And listen to the term, you know. Something that you believe. Not necessarily something that you know, but just to believe. So whenever you administered any levels of punishment, you must expect a reaction. And most times the reaction is not favorable. And because it is not favorable, you realize that it brings about another level of threats or even further punishment. Very serious issue here, people. So let me ask again. And I really need your input here. Lion Soldier, big up Sadi. Big up yourself, Lion. Chat about Christopher Warrell, aka Bap. You're not saying good morning tonight because you're at where the night is. Of course, bless up yourself. So the big question here, what will happen if Chapleton Maroon decide to withdraw at this stage? Will the Premier League Association give 3 points to everybody else in the group? The fact that one is missing. Or will they subtract the 3 points that they have gotten from the Maroons. Based on the rules, they make mention of a team withdrawal prior to the start of the competition. Then the JFF could install another team in their place. That would have been the next team who were vying for promotion. But this is not the case though. The case is that Chapleton Maroons have already played a number of games. I wonder if you understand what I'm saying. Am I clear? Lion Soldier man, yes family, London connection coming out of London, what you mean soldier? So, let us look at what some of the utterances that this situation with Chapleton Maroons have caused. Let us look at the utterances. From the PAJ, Chairman Chris Williams has clearly outlined and has said publicly that he believes the JPL, the Jamaica Premier League, should only have 10 teams in the competition. So he's strongly stating, or should I say indirectly, he's stating or suggesting that the number of teams be reduced from 14 to 10. He's a businessman. And that sounds to me it's coming from a financial business status. But what comes out was a blow, an uppercut from Mr. Dennis Chung, the secretary of the JFF. He stated that Chris Williams' comments were premature. And that's my term right now. He jumped the gun. I guess that's what he said. But Chris Williams is saying he does not speak that. He did not say that as the chairman of the P. This is serious, man. The man saying not talk it as the chairman, you know. It's just his personal belief. Mr. Williams, with all due respect, when you are in certain position, it seems like you don't have a personal view, boss. Because at all times, you'll be representing that organization. So, I guess you have some other things to say, right? Damage control, maybe. Let's see what happened. But he continued to say that he's saying his terms or his suggestion was merely as a business thing for the competition, because the less teams in the Premier League, then more money will be allotted to each team. So Dennis Chung saying really jumped the gun. I believe so. When I heard it, before I heard Dennis Chung's response earlier today, I said, this is crazy. Because there were plans in the JFF to increase the number of teams from 14 to 16 next year. Now Chung came out blazing. He said, that is not an argument that is expected to hear from Chris Williams. So he made mention, yes, of all the plans the JFF have in terms of increasing the number of teams. All right. So Lion, JFF, Jamaica Football Federation ruling. Yes, boss. Serious ruling and sanctions has been handed down. Dale Thompson, big up yourself, Dunga. All right. Christopher, you have a copy of the JFF rule? Yes, boss, I do have a copy. I can send you one via WhatsApp. All right. Or later on, in a little while, I will also put it up. And then you can watch and we go through. We're just going to look at the rules that they make mention of. All right. So give me a few minutes, Mr. Warren. So Mr. Chung, as I mentioned, stated that the JFF has also started the planning to increase the number of teams. But I can understand the direction or the position of Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams thought that if you have 10 teams, then the money that I've given to the 4 additional teams, it would be easier and also more dollar would have gone to individual clubs. So if $10 used to gone to each club, so and for 14 club, then you take away 10 times 4 is $40. So you could split that $40 into 10 and give each team that portion or a fraction. Isn't that good business? It may sound good business, but would that help Jamaica football or Jamaica's football? Will it? No. Very, very strong words. Very strong terms. And I believe Chris Williams, within himself, whether he was speaking, I tell you, I'm learning, I'm your learned friend, trust me. Whether Chris Williams was speaking at his own views and not the views of his association. If that is the case, we are in trouble, people. If that is the case, we are in trouble. And the trouble that I am foreseeing is that the 2 organizations are the 2 entities who are supposed to be speaking in one voice. They are speaking in several voices. Mr. Botti Tanas is saying he don't know how to type in the chat tonight. I don't know what's the situation. What I'll say to you, sir. All right, let me send you back a text. Oh. All right, sorry about that. I should send Mr. Bappy want that thing to know. All right, fair enough. Yes. So, as I was saying, whichever voice Sir Williams spoke, I am really touched by that. All right, I'm going to laugh, but I'm not say what you say. I guess that would have been a challenge, sir. So you probably have to sign in on that TV. All right. That's something that I don't want to say right now on the chat. So hopefully you get through, Sir Donaldson. All right. So let me just take it again. So RR is blessing up Tariq, bless up yourself. RR, teach them how to click the like button. All right. So the like button, people, the like button, you will see it below the screen, below your chat, below the image or the video. And you see that thumbs up button. There are two buttons here. Two thumbs up. One thumbs up, one thumbs down. The thumbs up for like and the thumbs down for unlike. So that's what you need to do. All right. Hit the like button. That's the one that says thumbs up. All right, people. I will try and put one up on screen. Thank you very much, boss. Wow. There's a message there that is held for review. People, remember, the Saudichress Show will not accept certain derogatory statements or unseen. No, let me not use unseen. Indecent language. So Unseen TV, big up yourself, my brethren. Big up. Thank you very much for joining. As Unseen is saying, like up the live, people, and subscribe if you haven't. Boy, I tell you, I have some very good friends. This man Unseen, I must say Unseen is a long-standing YouTube Sports TV as well. Thank you very much, my friend. All right, when you getting these information, like up the live and click the notification bell. Respect, man. So this is a senior YouTube man for me, so you must help me out. Blessed boss, respect, maximum respect. All right, people, so let's take a minute or two, less than a minute. Just look at the thing, hit the like button. Please and thanks. Right away. Right away, people. We need that. All right? So, just for pause, we really want you to get an opportunity. Because if you think about it, people, we have so many persons in the chat looking on, or should I say watching the show, but we're not having, the like button coming out at all. Not having the like button. So let me see if I can find something. Come on, if you just look below your screen, people, you see, the whole aspect of a thumbs up and a thumbs down. We want you to hit the thumbs up. All right. We only gone 6 so far, which is not good at all. And as my friends say, you're getting good information. So why keeping the like button or keeping it unlike? All right. So thank you very much, Unseen. And let us go on. So share up the live. We want it up to 20. Or more people. Come on, people. This is the test invite. Some people right now. Come, Mr. Unseen. I tell you, I need you to on the team, boss. Thank you very much, because you know the thing them. All right. So while Unseen, RR, and Mr. Lee continue to help me, dear people, we want you to remember to, if you have not yet subscribed, you won't be able to participate. So you need to just do that. All right. So let's get back to the meat of the matter. Unseen, maybe you could give me a response. Again, based on the situation with Chapleton Maroons, I think that is the reason why Mr. Williams came out with his assumption or his position, his personal views on the matter. I think that is the case. But as the question I ask, and maybe you can help me out big time. Hubert Brown, big up Saudi, all right? And again, are asking you to sanitize, clean the hand, pure heart, press the like button, people. You see the thumbs up that RR put in? Trust me. All right. So the thing I'm looking at now, people, is that I am at the position that I want to know what will happen if Chapleton Maroons withdraw tomorrow. Who would be hurt or who will lose big time? Who would be the biggest loser in all of this? Tell me. Would it be Chapleton Maroon? Would it be the JFF? Or would it be the PAJ? So the PFAJ, maybe want this thing to go down to 10 teams. Unless Mr. Williams can come out and say categorically, this is not the decision or the position of the PFAJ. Which, even though I mentioned this was a personal view, so if Chapleton Maroons should withdraw now, people, there will be other sanctions. My ears is ringing. There will be other sanctions for them to withdraw now. Because based on what Mr. Williams is saying, the PFAJ, along with the JFF, again I need clarity, somebody probably could help me, would have given each team monies before the start of the competition or during the competition. Is that so? Because if they have not given each team money, why would he say that monies will be allotted in a bigger portion to each club if we have less teams? So I suspect that the PFAJ, as a professional body, looking at the business of the Premier League, would have given the club some money. I don't know. But I would love to know if they has given this club some money, if they fund whatever thing in the club, whether it's for development, for infrastructure, I don't know, whatever it is. Chapleton Maroons would have had their portion already. Maybe they are giving them in tranches. So if they even got one tranche, they got some. Would they now have to return that money if they withdraw? What if they file bankruptcy after paying this $400,000? Because let me tell you something, people. We're talking about the $200,000 that are fine. There's an additional $2,000. There's an additional $200,000 that Chapleton Maroons could pay. There's one for $150,000 to pay for loss or damages to the JFF or to Mount Pleasant, if there is any loss or damages. And whoever suffered these losses or damages will, of course, present Chapleton Maroon with their invoices. And that is a maximum, they say, maximum. It's not necessarily going to be $100, it could be $2,000. But that is the situation. And there's another $50,000. I'll get back to the sanction and let you know. But there's another $50,000 that they will pay. All right? So Unseen TV, for a man in this thing so long, what's your take now? The fact that Chapleton Maroons had communicated 2 days prior to the game on Sunday. What's your take, the fact that they have communicated? What's your take now? Should the JFF had a better communication or a face-to-face communication prior to handing down of the sanctions? What would have given JFF a problem to respond to an email 25 hours later. 25 hours later, you know. Again, people, hit the like button. I'm seeing 13, now we're gone to 10 viewers, in and out people, I don't know what's happening, but we only have 7 likes. We should go on over 15 likes so far. Matter of fact, we should at least by now have 29 likes because there are 29 persons already chipped in. Some people come and goes. All right? RR is saying the action might be too drastic, especially as a new team in the league. I'm not going to say because they're a new team. You know. I'm not going to say that because it's a process. And they would have had some plans. You know, they were playing, they wanted to go to the Premier League, so they must put certain things in place. However, there's an argument saying that ignorance is no excuse of the law. So we're not gonna, I understand what you're saying, and I sympathize with Chapleton Maroons so much, but let us balance it. So fine by it. All right? Now, so I've mentioned 2 things that might happen or will happen if Chapleton Maroons should withdraw. So if Chapleton Maroon withdraw, we're left with 13 teams. I wonder if this question is too much to answer. What Mr. Lee say? What would happen if they decide to drop out? Would they be penalized some more? All right. I'm coming up to that, sir, because we want to have a clear understanding of what it may be. All right. So I'm going to try and get into that part of it and to see how well we can get more. So the rules and regulation, I will get that up shortly to see if we can dive into it. All right. So people, again, we want to look at the plus and the minuses. All right. I believe if they should drop out now, and it's not a drop out, if they should withdraw, as the threat says, or if they pull out, I believe that there will be further sanctions. But even if there are sanctions and Chapleton Maroon says, listen, we don't have any more money to pay, and this is the reason that we are pulling out. That would have been the reason why we are pulling out. All right? Would that be an issue? Come on, people, tell me there. So let's see if we can get the rules to help us with that, people. So let me try my best to get that up. Again, people, we're still stuck on 7 likes. Oh my God. Christopher Worrell, what is the problem make Lenny lose his job? In all honesty, I cannot answer that one. It was not too clear to me. So we probably then have to go further, dig a little deeper into the Chapleton Maroons business. All right? But that's another thing. And I will get some information before the show is out on that, Mr. Worrell. Now, people, you have seen what Chapleton says, and I'm sure that you have seen the sanctions. All right? Sure, you have seen the sanctions. But how much? How much? Hey, RR, you have to go do some teaching for me now. Unseen, I don't understand what's happening, unseen. Me see, I was at 7 likes, now me see 6. So somebody unlike. Is it that you don't like the content, people? Why you unlike? Or is a mistake? All right. So RR, dismiss Lenny Hyde interviewing coach from Brazil for the job. All indication Maroon have money. Well, we can say that. Or maybe they might have money but not to do certain things. Because, remember when you do a budget, boss, if you budget $10 to pay a coach, you can use $1 out of the 10 coach to buy one player. If you're going to follow the financial fair play business. So all money that budgeted should use for the intended purpose. Maybe that's the situation with Chapleton Maroons. I don't know. I really don't. Now, the other side of the coin. What will Mr. Williams do now? If come Sunday, the competition is left with 13 players. Wow. What would happen? This has been an eye-opener for me, and I figure that it is a very much eye-opener for you as well. Yes. And I promise you people, the information that I have now, which I believe is not sufficient, I promise to you, Friday and Monday, you all will get all that information right here on the Saudichress Show. Yes? Because we'll have all things being equal. All things being equal. On Friday night, we'll have somebody from the PFAJ. And on Monday night, we'll have somebody from the JFF. All right? So, we will have solid information for you as it relates to the position or what will happen. And so being the good thing about it, somebody coming prior to the game on Sunday and after the game on Sunday. All right? Come on, people. Let me know what's happening. All right. So, let's look on the sanctions. Take a look at the sanctions for those who did not see. Let's take a look at the sanction. You see, one of the things, people, we have to be mindful of. How different people will respond to different measures. Yes? We have to be mindful of how Saudichress will respond to his issues as opposed to RR. That is the nature of it, people. That is the nature of it. All right? So I'm trying now to find out, or just to show you what the sanctions were in quick, because we have gone through this already. But some persons have not seen it. All right. So the sanctions are as follows, especially for BAP who asked the question. All right. So the sanction read for immediate release And you will see that on screen just about now. The Competitions Committee of the JFF has handed down sanctions to Chapleton Maroons, who failed to turn up off their JPL fixture versus Mount Pleasant at Effortville on Sunday, January 22. The first thing is that for breach of Article 7.5 and 6, the game has been awarded to Mount Pleasant by a score of 3-0. Chapleton Maroons also being fined $200,000. This payment must be on or before February 3. Do you follow? All right. Secondly, in keeping with the regulations, a further 6 points has been deducted from the club's current point standing. The club must also compensate for any damages or losses suffered by Mount Pleasant FA and the JFF up to a maximum of $150. Invoices will be provided as soon as possible. That is coming from the JFF. That's part of their sanction. All right? Okay. Now, let us see if there's any issues with that. And we're gonna come now. We're gonna go right to the rules, as what Kotti asked earlier. The final one, though. The club will be referred to the JFF Disciplinary Committee for further actions to be taken in accordance with the Article 70 of the JFF Disciplinary Committee. So you see what I mean, people? The $200,000 plus the $150,000 is not all yet. Because there could and maybe additional sanctions after they have met with the disciplinary committee. All right, so those are the sanctions. I want to bring about now the PFAJ rules that spoke to all these articles, people. All right. So we're gonna get down to that. So Mr. Kotti has asked, what are the rules and regulations? So we're gonna first look at Article 7.5. All right. Article 7.5. So, where am I now? Article 4. These articles are so long, people. It's like Jamaica laws. So, Article 7.5 reads, if a club does not report for a match, all right? If a club does not report for a match, I wonder if I can put it up for you. Hold on. No. If a club, hold on a second, let me see if I can find it and put it up while I read. Where is that? I'm not seeing it at all. Not at all. I'm trying to get it, people, so you can have it. All right, it is here now. All right. So hopefully you'll be able to see it. from your advantage point. All right, so let us go through now, people. And Cutty, remember you asked the question now, and for those of you who don't remember it, because we have gone through this. When was it again? Friday night? All right, so we are at Article 7.5. And see, I block it there so you'll be able to see clearly. All right, people. So it says that if a club does not report for a match, all right, except in cases of force majeure, yes, recognized by the PFAJ Operations Committee, or if it is refused to continue to play or leave the stadium before the end of a match, the team shall be considered as having lost the match, and 3 points shall be awarded to its opponents with a score of 3-0. All of that was said, but this is actually the rules now. In the case of an abandoned match, the winning team has already reached a higher score at the time of the guilty team leaves the field. The guilty club shall be fined a maximum $200,000. And this was what handed down to Chapleton Maroons. Okay? In the case of a selected live televised games, the guilty club shall be fined a maximum $1 million for failure to one of the fixtures. So it's a lucky thing. Wow, it's a lucky thing it wasn't a televised game. Travis, you're back, sir. All right, the manager was on another stream saying they will turn up for the next game on Sunday at Jackson. All right. The Maroons did not read the long manifesto too much. Fine print. Yes, sir. I know you are a lawyer, you know. You're one of those legal minds, especially in this football thing. So RR maybe did too much fine printers. But what I'm reading now is not fine print though, you know. So Cutty, you asked a question. That is the first rule, and so the sanction came. It also mentioned Article 6. So let me go back to Article 6. 7.5 and 6. The guilty club, so let me highlight this one now. The guilty club in Article 7.5 as general rule shall be deducted a further 6 points and shall pay compensation for any damage or loss suffered by the club and by the PFAJ up to a maximum of 150. Listen, I don't even see this earlier, you know. But what the sanction is saying, people, the sanction was saying that the $150 would have been paid to JFF and the club. But in the rule, it is saying to the club and by the PFAJ. You follow me? So there is a slight issue there. I don't know if it is typo error, but we probably need to clarify who will claim those or who will get. Is it the JFF or the PFAJ? The club, as it said, may also be referred to the Complaints and Disciplinary Committee for further actions to be taken in accordance with Article 70 of the JFF Disciplinary Rule. All right, so let me see how quickly I can go to Article 70. So Article 70 reads, and Article 70 have 2 points. So Article 70 reads, if a team refuses to play a match or to continue playing one which has begun, or failed to report for a match or to continue playing one which it has begun, it will be sanctioned with a minimum fine of $50,000 and will be in principle forfeit the match. Again, and it is also stated, that was stated in also Article 31. In serious cases, the team may also be disqualified from the competition in the progress and may be demoted to a lower division. Again, hey people, help me read this one again and tell me what you get from this. In serious cases, the team may also be disqualified from the competition in progress and may be demoted to a lower division. It's a big league comes with big punishment. You know something? I think even if it is a major league, most of these sanctions would have been the same. Again, D1 and D2, I don't think used to carry these harsh punishment. Well, you see what happened, because this Premier League now is what they call is a professional league. So I guess the punishment or the enforcement of the rules and regulation has to carry out because it's a professional league. All right? But as what Article 70.2 reads, so if it is serious cases, the team may also be disqualified from the present competition, and may demoted to. So I want to know, is this case, as it is with the Maroons, is this a serious case? Or when would you determine how serious the case is? At what point? Would it be a point after the hearing or when the team or the club face the disciplinary committee? These are some questions that needed to be answered. You following me? Dale Thompson, give me something, no, man. You're on par, no, man. Again, people, still short of some likes. Hit the like button. So there are so many questions that I believe we need the PFAJ, right, and the JFF to answer. I don't need them to come here to answer in any defense. No, that's not my cause. That's not what I want. I want them to answer so we can be better informed and understand the situation and how these things work. Because you see what happened here, and for me, people, I'm going to tell you straight up. While I read and can understand certain things and in principle figure out what it is said, many of these articles were not written for the common man. May I tell you? A matter of fact, in law, Jamaican laws, when you hear about articles, sections and subsections of certain rules or regulation or policies, they're not clear. It is being written in a way for the legal mind. And so if and when you have gotten into that aspect of things, you need legal person to help you out. I said it right. So they written them. It was written like that. So much of these articles and rules leave for our own interpretation. My friend Kevin not so agree with me, but it is the truth. Again, people, the other part of it, there was an aspect that I questioned, and that question is now answered. Because I questioned the fact, did Chapleton Maroon register 30 players prior to the start of the competition? That was a question that I asked. But based on what Mr. Campbell said in his response, they had registered 30. So I don't need to even venture back to that. But the point that I made in terms of the registration, where it says you must register a maximum of 30 players, I believe in interpreting that rule, there should be a minimum too. That part I believe is a bit ambiguous. It's a bit too wide. Therefore, if you say a maximum of 30, that means, I don't want to be technical, but a team can register 15 players. Would you have a problem with a team register 15 players, JFF? Or would you have concern? Is it a problem or concern if a team should register 15 players? Because you said a maximum. There was no minimum. We know from all sense of football that you will need as much players as possible. We know that. All right. They said this problem escalated after Lenny got cut and seems the players cut too. Yes, it escalated, but that wasn't. I know when him get cut, the problem started, boss. Based on what Coach Stewart says in the article, that Coach Hyde would have run away a number of players before he departed. That means those players were not good enough for his team. So it couldn't be. It couldn't be, people, that is the case. Couldn't be that is the case. Let me take the time out, people, just to acknowledge and to bring about or bring across a little advertisement. Yes? For our good friend. Our friends. Alright, so if you see on screen there, the Garvey Maceo High School Alliance, they will be presenting, or they will be hosting a bingo fundraiser, online bingo fundraiser, March 5th at 6 p.m. Yes, 7 exciting games. Grand prize gift, $500 US. Why the Saudichress channel that do well with the $500 US there, you know. Mr. Lee, I will spend a $20 US, boss. Have to support. You support the adrenaline thing to the max. Or should I say the PBA? Yeah, man, the PBA. So, a Zoom link will be shared with you people after you purchase your ticket. Alright? And where I say that it is fully endorsed by the Garvey Maceo High School administration and proceeds to support the Garvey Maceo High School sports department and other programs. So it's a full 100 thing. It's an all-inclusive fundraiser, not just for sports or say football. Alright? So games, gift, prize and cash and kind. So all the different games, people, you will get either cash or kind, you know, for your different gifts for the different game. If you win, though, you know, not if you play, if you win. So you can contact, for those of you in Jamaica like myself, you can contact Champy at 876-872-1522. Gary, 876-399-9151. Those are the Jamaican persons and numbers for you to contact. And also, if you are in Canada, the man they call Jervis, 416-566-0060 if you are in Canada. And if you are in New York City, Thomas, 917-657-2094. And finally, the big man himself who is behind this, Mr. Lee. And he's in Connecticut. 203-676-623. That's the numbers and the persons for you to contact to get your bingo tickets. I'm sure Mr. Lee will, talk to me about that. I'm sure that he will also probably send a few tickets for giveaway for questioning and answers. So Mr. Lee, let yourself know, because coming closer, I will invite you and set for you to talk some more about this bingo fundraiser. All right? So line up yourself, my boss. And you don't know, you are the big man in town. Mr. Lee, man. All right, so we continue to support all our schools and by extension, our students in this regards. Education is key, and that's why I devoted one day for education. Unfortunately, tonight it should be, but based on how things are, we have to go through. So, as I mentioned that Lenny cut with the guys, it has been a long-standing thing, and what I was told, Lenny had gotten rid of some players in the event. He had that because he was expecting that the schoolboys would have returned after the Doncaster Cup, only to find out that only 5 of these schoolboys can be on the match guard in any game. So that was a problem. Initially, what I was told as well, or what I learned, Chapleton Maroons only register 15 players outside of the schoolboys. So the schoolboys would have made up the 30. So 15 big men, so to speak, are professionals, and another 15 schoolboys. Let's just give credit to Lenny Hyde, though, These other 15 schoolboys were not just from Clarendon College. Some of them are from other schools in and around the parish or north of Clarendon. Yes. So it wasn't just pure Clarendon College schoolboys. So let's get that straight. All right? So even though we're battering Lenny Hyde, we still have to give him a prep, giving a lot of schoolboys the opportunity to be playing football right around. Now, where we are now, Mr. Dennis Chung, the secretary, said he has called Mr. Williams to a meeting. However, Mr. Williams was on our show. I am unable to say if he did accept the invitation or not, but he never turned up for the meeting. So RR is asking, and does any of these articles pass down to the players' re-contract? Which of the players are you talking about, the senior players or the schoolboys? Let me understand that before I comment. All right? So, is it a situation that Mr. Williams is not in for any debate just now? Is it a situation I should think that even though it's two different entities, they're operating on their own, meaning the PFAJ and the Jamaica Federation, Football Federation, JFF? Again, these leave us to... And Travis, I hope that, looking back at your comment, that I said that the manager was on the other stream. I hope so. I really hope that they will continue, because it's not Clarendon. And we are proud of them. We want to be a part of the Chapleton Maroons. Not necessarily as stakeholders, but at least by fans. I myself is from North Clarendon. Who knows? Friends and families. And it is good to have that level of football in the parish, don't it? So people, right there again, I think that there's a war of words probably be brewing between Chris Williams and Dennis Strong. Forgive me if I'm prompting a war of words. Forgive me. That's not my style. That's not my style. But based on what I heard, it would have seemed so. But for the good of the cause, I hope that these two persons or these two entities can meet at a applicable solution. It makes no sense that they are apart. It makes absolutely no sense. So I will not push much on that because, as I said before, hopefully, God's willing, on Friday night, we will have somebody from the PFAJ. Now, let me tell you this, people. My whole intention to get this person wasn't for this case, because this whole organization of the meet or the show, as I guess, was it planned in the making prior to this Chapleton Maroon situation. But we want to continue. We want to continue. People have not taken the time out for us to big up our sponsors, you know. And so we really want to say thumbs up to our long-standing sponsors for the show. Okay? All right. So in a little while, yes, you will see our sponsors coming through, because you know that without the sponsorship, people, little or nothing we will have. All right? So let me take the time out to say thank you to the Past Adrenaline Ballers Association, PIBA, for their sponsorship. Yes, the Toad and Nose Heating and Cooling System, Deja Vu Retro Party, Dallas Fine Cut Barbering, Taste of the Island Restaurant, Solid Rock Black Factory, Satisfaction Entertainment and Electronics, VIP Services, Juki's Shipping, Conway Basil Gill, Gregory Mesa. Big up yourself. Thank you very much for your continued support. Now, again, people, our WhatsApp numbers are as follows. I know that they have not been seeing them. Maybe that's why we haven't got any call. But, you know, people, long standing on the show, so some of you would have known the numbers. So the numbers are there: 501-6625 or 423-8454. Again, 876-501-6625 and 876-423-8454. People, let me just caution you just a bit. For now, we'll just be using the 501 number. So it's a 501-6625. That is the number that we'll be using tonight for your calls. All right. So again, people, still needs a little bit more likes. And let me share my analysis with you right now, people. Right now we're having 10 viewers, 10 current viewers. Yes. And 50 people, 50 persons have tuned in to the show since we have started, but they have not stayed. Thank you. But I would have hoped the fact that you came in, or am I to understand that you don't like the content? Well, that's okay with me. I do understand. Maybe these persons were persons expecting a more of a strict educational content. But people, bear with me. You will get your time. But I'm also asking, you might not like the content of this show, but I'm sure that you like the content of the Saudichress Show in general. So you could still give us your like. I'll appreciate that so very much. All right, so we continue. Let me just touch a little bit of what's happening in the world of football. Again, this show is not one that will take you through any high levels of controversy, or controversy that is. But the JFF, was it next year or this year? We'll be having elections. And there are a number of associations who believe that there's a need for a change in the hierarchy of the JFF. Good. And so there's some association who believe that the president is not qualified to re-elected on the basis of some ruling that was passed down by FIFA in a court matter with a former contender of the presidency. There are some association believes that this current administration is not doing well enough for football. I have listened to a number of them, but people, let me tell you the truth. I would like for some of these persons to come on here for us to hear their views. And I will invite them as it goes closer to the elections. Yes, closer to the elections. As a matter of fact, as soon as they are available. What I am expecting, as you know, we'll not be having a political or a heated debate, so to speak. We just want them to share their point and for us to understand. The General Secretary, what I was told, is available to discuss these things with anyone. I have not yet gotten a chance to speak to him, but in the near future, hopefully, that he will be there. Now, the question I would ask in that though, people, most of whom I've heard speaking on the matter, I think they are more positioning their quest or directing their views to the presidency or to the President Michael Ricketts. Are these clubs or association now support the present General Secretary? Because he just came in office and it wasn't an election. You know what happened earlier with the former Gensec. So are these association is supportive of Mr. Dennis Chow? We don't know. But again, we'll get all of that as it comes in closer. All right? In our current situation right now as well, we want to look at Blessings Dallas. Just joining for real. What say you, boss? Yeah, man. We want to look at the present situation with the Jamaica under-17 team. They are still in camp. And hearing a whole lot of chit-chatting and, picking and all sort of arguments over how this camp being run, over how the selection of players have been done. But people, let me let this thing clear. I have been following this program for more than one reason. And maybe because I am close to persons who work with the program, that I have been able, or the interest, so to speak, has been. I am always following all the national teams, whether it's male or female, whether it's under 17, under 15, under 19, under 23, or under 20, or the senior teams. I've always followed them. But this time around, maybe because of the technology now and the more of other media, outside of mainstream media, YouTubers, we have got more information of what is happening. And that is the reason why most of us now are able to talk, because we are seeing what is happening. We are hearing what is happening. Time passed by, you only hear that a team going to the World Cup or they qualify. You never hear of the camping or the training. And I'm not saying that previous coaches or administration used to hide that. No, that's not what I'm saying. Because of the invent of technology and more so, more TV channels or stations. Eh? Yes, online media, social media. We are able to get information faster and quicker. But there's this one thing I want to mention. I listened to a show some time ago. Last night to be exact. And I've heard people questioning the selection or non-selection of 2 overseas players. The players were here in the camp, but somehow the coaches has cut them from their squad. From all understanding and information, those are 2 good players. But is it because they are 2 good players why there's a lot of noise over these players being cut? Or is it a situation because these players are overseas players? Or should I say born overseas, Jamaican connection, playing overseas? But somehow I'm not hearing the same type of views when the Jamaican or the local players being cut. Not hearing that. Again, these are some things that we need to look into, people. And we can't continue to be battering our own coaches, our own players, our own system. And what I will say, people, while many of the issues raised were true, and I use the term were in former years. Because growing up, if you don't come from town, you can't make no national team. That was what used to happen. That's what I grew up to see as a youngster coming up. But things have changed. Yes, as long as you are performing, you'll be able to get a chance. And again too, because the football, I believe, is evolved some way, while people in the country are now playing more football than before. We all agree that most Kingston players have more opportunities, or had more opportunities then to showcase their talent than those in the rural areas. We agree with that. Maybe presently it's the same thing, but it is not as bad as how it used to be. People, what I would say, if you are true Jamaicans, you need to give the system a chance. Now, when the system fails, we have all the right. We have all the right to talk and to criticize. And I'm not saying you don't have a right to criticize before the system fails. No, that's not what I am saying. But there can be no one in this world, nobody at all in this world can foresee what will happen. Yes, we probably can look at other things to say the team not good and not like the preparation or the coaches are not experienced. We can use all of those things, people. But remember, we had made it to different Youth World Cup before. Yes, under 17 World Cup, we had one of the better teams in the under 17 World Cup, and it was coached by local coaches. One of the things though, people, and I will continue to say this, if you believe that our local coaches are not good enough, I still do have a problem with your belief. I want you now, for those of you who believe that, to come out and state to me, or to Jamaica, to the world, what are the shortcomings of these coaches? Because tell me now, why would we going overseas to get an overseas coach to coach our youth program? Many teams, the schoolboys competition, even the Premier Leagues, most teams, most clubs that win or won have coached by local players. Local coaches. And we watch them week in, week out during the Costa Cup or Manning Cup season. The teams played well. You respect the coach and you say, coach, I do. But why is it that this coach cannot be transitioned to an international team? One thing though, yes, experience goes a far way. But I think the JFF has put things in place as it relates to coaching now, where our top coaches get a chance to upgrade themselves. And not just go a class, go sit down. But there are different coaching courses that offer different coaching license. The present national setup coaches are all doing their A license. After which they have completed that, once they have been successful, they will be qualified to coach in CONCACAF. They will be qualified to coach in CONCACAF, people. And saying that to say, there are a number of teams or a number of countries who are far advanced than Jamaica in football. They are far advanced with resources to ensure that the football grows. They have not done well in these competitions either. Many of us will talk about US and England. But for your own good and information, you could check out how many times have US and England won the under 17, the under 20 World Cup. Check out and tell me how many times these countries who we rate, who we look up to, the countries who we believe should possess or provide the players to play our football. Check out how many times they won. And they have it all. They have the resources. I understand that the fact that we're a country and we're entering a competition, we should win. Yeah. Again, let's not fool ourselves. In every team sports, people, especially international, and not just international, if you even want to break it down to club level, the ratio of teams winning these competitions is far less than those who entered. And that is a sure thing. I guess. I'm not guessing. That's a fact. Mr. Stewart, good evening. Good evening, everyone, coming from Mr. Errol Stewart. So you see why I'm at, people. I believe we need to give the system a chance. And I said this before during my early podcast, that I've seen some changes. I've seen some changes in Jamaican football, especially where coaches is concerned. Our schoolboy coaches have developed themselves through the JFF, people. And I'm not batting for the JFF though, you know. Don't think I'm batting for the JFF when I said that. But it is JFF who run those things. So that's one good thing. Maybe the negatives of the JFF outweigh the positive. Maybe. The clubs association or the different parish associations would have seen. They are closer to it than me. They know what they are looking for. But what I am saying, people, what I am simply saying, we need to give our system a chance. The fact that you are not agreeing with what the national preparation or the national teams are doing, they are in preparation and they will be going to their World Cup qualifiers. We need to give them a chance. You see how life go? When we qualified for the 1998 World Cup, you know, how many of us in 1996 or 97 would have thought that would have happened? Tell me. So much of us I'm gonna say yes. But we are all organists. We like to win. So I've seen a clipping where, and I will get some further information. A matter of fact, I will try and get to see that match. Unfortunately, we can't record. But the Trinidad and Tobago under 17 team, I heard, will be coming to Jamaica to play their counterpart. Again, people, there's a lot of information, a lot of things out there for us to carry. All right? Another bit of news that I want to do before we go is that our defender, Damian Lowe, has moved to the Philadelphia Union from Inter Miami. Yes. So, again, people, that's some information that we would love. These are information that all of us would like to hear. These are contractual, and it shows that our own people are doing well. So, the information at Lowe saying that Philadelphia Union announced today that they have acquired the services. And today is the what? The 25th? Yes, it is today. They acquired the services of the Jamaican defender Damian Lowe from Inter Miami CF. According to the union, Lowe was acquired for US $225,000 in 2023 general allocation money and a 2024, listen this now, natural first round draft pick. People in football, tell me, £225,000. Sorry, US dollars. Used to the English pound. 225,000 US dollars. They had paid for Damian Lowe. What's your take on that? Is that a full worth of the player? Do you think that is a considerate amount? Do you think that is a well-earned amount, so to speak, or earned valuation of the player? Now it goes to say, as part of the agreement, Inter Miami CF will also receive homegrown priority over Shandir Borglin, with Philadelphia retaining a percentage of any future transfer over Borglin. So there are some levels of another transfer. But let's look. Lowe comes to Philadelphia from Inter. Right? He had played 28 games. Or is that all the appearance? He have starts all the games that he have there, scoring 1 goal and collecting 1 assist. All right. So Lowe had played for the Egyptian Premier League club Al Ittihad. Yes. He also played, that club, or the Egyptian league, is the highest league in Egypt. Um, he has also played for a number of notable teams or notable clubs in his career, including Pennsylvania Club, Reading United, as well as Seattle Sounders and Minnesota United. So, our young defender Damian Lowe has been moving around a whole lot. He has been moving along a whole lot. Congratulations, Mr. Lowe, and I hope that will help you as you move in your next journey. All right, people? Good. Now, I want to say to the Chapleton Maroons, going back to Chapleton Maroons, I want to say to the hierarchy of the Chapleton Maroons, seek audience with the JFF. You know what happened? You are in the fire. And they said that if you have JPs, you have to seek fire, not true? Yes. If you really have an interest to represent the parish of Clarendon, North Clarendon, if you have an interest for sustainability, seek audience with the JFF. I implore you to let your guards down. And not to say that you should not stand for what you believe. Yes. But as it relates to you being a standoff, if that is so, let your guard down, seek dialogue with the JFF. Please do. For the good of what it is, for the good of the cause, we want to see Chapleton Maroons continue in the Premier League plight. From all indications, the owner of Chapleton Maroons have what it takes to move forward. Michael Cash, as his name suggests. He has the cash to take the team forward. And I don't think money is a problem with Chapleton Maroons, as RR mentioned, money can't be a problem when you fire a Lenny Hyde and then you employ an international coach. As a matter of fact, this international coach that is employed used to be one of our own national coaches. So he probably have an idea. He knows the culture of Jamaica. And maybe, just maybe, he can turn this club around with his experience. Because this club needs more than just footballing players. But sir, it's a cash and company. Based on other things being said and what has been written, I would like for you to put a serious structure in place for the Chapleton Maroons club. Yes? Serious structure. And so being, it may take a little more than talk. But it is important that we go that route. Again, please have dialogue. Please engage the JFF. And JFF, do not take it as a ruler. Do not take the situation as if you are all right. We understand what's happening. But as a federation, as a professional body, there must be some levels of support and assistance to clubs like these. So your input, JFF, is very much needed into this. I am really sorry, and I'm saying it without any apology. I'm really, really sorry, in my view, that the sanctions that were handed to Chapleton Maroon, both the Maroons and the JFF never had a meeting before the sanctions had gone. Nothing wrong with the sanctions, you know. They are harsh, to be honest. Based on the situation, they are harsh. But nothing is wrong with them. I am just saying, based on information, you could have dialogue. Good? You could have dialogue straight off the bat. All right? So, again, I urge all well-thinking Jamaicans to support the cause. And by supporting, we probably could, leave out little negatives. Let's see how best we can improve on the positive. Because let me tell you something, people. For those of you who know electricity and electronics or the higher the positive, the lower the negative. Am I right or am I wrong? And vice versa. So if we improve on the positive and stay with the positives, then sometime, somehow, the negative will decrease. So that's what I want to say. That's where I want to end the show tonight, people. Because on Friday and Monday, I guess that would be the final issues or the final saga as it relates to this issue. Or if this final issue as it relates to the saga. Which way should I say it? The Chapleton Maroons saga. We want to put an end to it on Monday. Yes, we will put an end to it on Monday. Because what we want to do, people, we want to get all the facts straight. Because sometimes we act and we respond based on personal feelings. But we don't look at the facts. Yes, we don't look at the facts. So I'll be getting in contact with Coach Stewart tomorrow. I would like to know what the composition of their team is now, because I was told that there was a trial. Was it yesterday? Okay, so if it was yesterday, it would have been Monday. So you should have some players and you have enough time to get them in. Mark you. Not get them in a very good way, tactically or, technically or team system. But you will have enough time to get them registered. That is the key thing. That is the key thing. And people, the fact that if Chapleton Maroon decided to move quickly to get these players up and running, I was just asking you to forget about the further sanctions that you mentioned. Because they are trying their best to put their best foot forward. No, so. So Mr. Ian Campbell, Mr. Michael Ricketts, Mr. Dennis Chung, and all the other parties who will be dealing with this issue in the JFF. Let common sense prevail. Mr. Michael Cash and your team at Chapleton Maroons, again, let common sense prevail. Mr. Williams and your team of the PFAJ, again, let common sense prevail. This whole thing could put our Jamaica Premier League in a very, very bitter taste. Was it a politician mentioned bitter medicine? I don't want to take any bitter medicine. No. If it is medicine, give me it as sweet as it can be. But no bitter medicine. So people, seems like you're falling asleep. And if you're not, if you're still here, we just have take another 6 minutes if you want to call, just to say something on the matter that we have discussed. So if there's anything else in the chat that you want to mention, we would like for us to go, because we'll be closing off very, very soon in this episode 25 part 2, where we look mainly at this system with Chapleton Maroons. Again, people, I'm going to take this opportunity to highlight the combine. And this combine, as you know, is between, what's their name again? It is the Generation Next and the Mount Pleasant combine that started on Saturday. So this combine is basically on from Saturday to the 28th. So today is the 25th, so we still have another 3 days to go. And I want to thank Mount Pleasant Academy for affording the Saudichress Show 5 spots for 5 players that I have selected to be a part of this combine. Yes. Thank you, Mount Pleasant Academy, Mr. Vanny Clark, and your team, Mr. Gould, the owner. And by extension, thanking the Generation Next. From all indications, people, the activities at the combine has been very good. There are a number of players being, communicated with so far. And I really suspect that we'll have a few of our players benefited. And I said few of our players, people, because from the 5 spots that I have gotten, I have given 4 to Edwin Allen High School players. And these players are Clayton Peck, Alwyn Bryan, Giovanni Thompson, the captain, man they call Pata, and what's PZ and PZ? PZ, I don't even remember your right name. Tajay Bailey. Yes, Tajay Bailey. So Tajay Bailey, Javan Thompson, and Alwyn Peck, and Clayton Peck. Those are the 4 persons. And the 5th one I have given to a young man, Kaleem Price, from out of Mount Rasa, Yuatan. He attends the Charlie Mount High School. Very good player too. So those are the 5 players who have sent to the Mount Pleasant and Generation Next combine, our player identification 2023. And again, remember, they had scouts recruiting scouts from US, UK, and as far as Dubai. All right, people. So it's not just a 1-day thing, it's a 1 week. All right. Again, thank you very much. Yes, sir, Donaldson. We say blessings walk good. I walk tonight, I already there home. Well, I will have to walk to the bed because me in the studio. To walk to the room. Thank you, man. And walk good as well. Errol Stewart, there is an apparent weakness in the club structure. Yes, sir, I figured that too. So I am encouraging them to put a structure in place. And I'm sure when they meet with the PFAJ, that would be one of the key argument or recommendation that will be made to them, as long as they are within the scope of the competition, I am sure. And they want to play football. I know Michael Cash love football too much for chop out of this competition. And he invest too much already. He not go chop out. That man have big plans for Chapleton Maroons. Some of the plans, I believe, too big. Yes. And if what I heard, let me leave it right there. But some of these plans are very big. And so hopefully that things will be well. So again, people, thank you very much for joining the show. Hopefully, see you on Friday night, where we will continue. We want to highlight what the PFAJ really, what's their role and responsibilities. How have they made the Premier League better for Jamaica? Are we seeing a better Premier League, a better run Premier League? Have we seen more sponsorship in our Premier League? So on Friday night, we will get more of what we believe the PFAJ is responsible for. Clarity we need and education. Okay? So of course, I'm expecting all of these points to come up, but it depends on you people. Your interest when I get these guests. Assist me to get all the information that you need. All the content that are relevant to your understanding. And on Monday, just in an effort to put all of these things to rest or to bed as it relates to what's happening now in football with the Chapleton Maroons, I'm expecting one of the vice president from the present JFF hierarchy to be with us to explain the actions or the responsibility of the JFF to the football in Jamaica, and more so to the Premier League. So that's where we'll be going Friday and Monday. So people, thank you very much for staying the course with us, and thank you very much for being a part of the Saudichress Show, because without you, we couldn't have this show and for it to be so successful. And we continue to ask for your guidance and your participation in this show. People, without further ado, I want to say thanks again to our sponsors, thanks to our well-established fans, day in, day out you are here, and for the new fans, for the new viewers who are joining us from time to time. Unseen, let me say big up yourself, my brother. First, I'm seeing you on the show, and thank you very, very much for your input, and hope we can have it. As a matter of fact, Unseen, I'll be calling on you one of these nights to co-host with me. That's what I know you love, because you have information, and as a coach yourself, big up yourself. We're coming back. Finally, if you have not yet done so before the show is out, hit the like button, share the Saudichress channel, subscribe if you have not done so. And even though we'll be going offline, this show will be on set. It will be on the studio. So you can go ahead and rewatch, share it, and like it as well. Thank you very much, and God be with you.